Hey guys, it's Duct Tape Susie, and you're about to get a tutorial on a duct tape crossbody bag. You've all been waiting so long for this, and thank you for being patient with me. And so for the things you're going to need is 1 of 2 rolls or colored or patterned tape, a ruler, an X-Acto knife, a cutting surface, whether it be a cutting board or a cutting mat, some scissors, and a stapler. You're also going to need staples. Now let me tell you something. I've been making duct tape purses for over a year, and I've had every problem you can possibly think of with them. And I will tell you right now that the only way that you're going to get a durable handbag is with staples. So it is a must. I've done it with duct tape many times. Straps fall off. I mean, you have to perform magic pretty much to not get your duct tape purse to fall apart. So these are the things you're going to be needing. So make sure you get those ready and we will start the tutorial. Okay, so you're going to make 2 panels. I normally do mine 8 or 9 by 9, but this one I'm going to make a little bit larger, so it's basically up to you on what size you want your crossbody bag to be. Now this one's going to be a little bit larger than I have been making them lately, so if you want to stick to the 9 by 9, go ahead. I'm going to do a 10 by 10. So basically you're just creating a fabric that is 10 by 10 if you're following my measurements. I'm using my pattern tape as my outside color. And if you're using pattern tape, you want to make sure you line it up before you put your inside color on there. So let's see, I got 3, 6, 7, 8. So I would say about 9.5 to 10. So mine is 9 3/4, and that's perfect for me. So you're just going to pick it up, flip it over sticky side up, and cover that with your colored tape. Or your pattern, whatever you're choosing for your inside color. Okay, so once you have this completely covered, you're going to want to trim up any of the sticky mess that you have left behind. You want to make sure you have it as even as possible. Now mine is a little bit shorter than 10 inches. I guess we'd say a hair shorter, but that's fine. So now that you have one panel done, you're going to want 2 of these. So do another one of these, and we will I'll show you how to make a front pocket. Okay, so now that you have your 2 panels made, this will be your front and your back. You set those aside, and we're going to make the front pocket. So your front pocket is going to be 10 inches long. So there's 3, 6, 8, 9, 10. And you're going to want it 7 inches tall. One, two, three, four, five, six. One more strip. So this is actually a little bit bigger than what I had hoped. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to cut mine down a little bit. Now you're just going to flip it over. Now since I was trying to go by my pattern, I'm just going to trim up my excess over here. Okay. So now you're just going to cover that up with your inside color. I'm going to leave a 1/4 inch mark of sticky so I can fold it over. So as you can see, I left a little bit of sticky on the very top. You can fold that over onto itself so that way you have a nice little, it's not no rough edges on the front of your pocket. Okay, now clean up your edges, come back, and we'll work on the strap. Okay, so to make your strap, this is going to be a crossbody bag, so you're going to want your strap to be really long. I usually do my straps about 50 inches, and that makes it a perfect size. So my cutting mat is actually 23 inches. So I write it down to the 23-inch mark it with my finger, and start all over again. Or if you have like one of those cloth measuring tapes, you could do that too. So I know that 23 and 23 is 46. Now all I need to do is add on 4 more inches. So you mark that with your finger, add on 4 inches and cut. Okay, now you're going to want to fold this over so it's sticky side up. We're going to start at the very end here, and this is a way to do it without, oops, I got some problems. Aha. Okay, so this is the easiest way to show you. You don't want any rough edges on your strap or else they're going to fray. So you want to fold this in half onto itself, like that. And run your finger down as you go so you can get out all the creases and all the air bubbles. And so you're going to continue to do this all the way down your strip, being super careful that you don't get any bubbles or wrinkles. Wrinkles are a real pain in the butt. You can't get them out. So just try your best to not get any wrinkles or bubbles by pressing down as you go along. And the tricky thing is it being so sticky, it likes to fold over on itself. So if you keep the measurements about the same, then you shouldn't have any problems with the wrinkles or bubbles. So we're just going to continue on down. And as you can see, mine's getting smaller and smaller as we go, which is okay. Now you're going to fold it over onto itself. I like to start at this end so I can kind of get a figure of where my strap is. So just fold it over onto itself like that. And you're going to continue to do that all the way down without getting any wrinkles or bubbles. And if your strap got skinny on the way down, that's okay. Just kind of keep it around the same measurement as the rest of your strap. Which is what I'm doing right here. So that way your strap is going to stay the same width all the way from the top to the bottom. And to the very end. Okay. You're going to want to go through here and make sure that you get it all nice and straight. No crinkles, no bubbles. If you have bubbles, you can pop it with your X-Acto knife, but I think I got extremely lucky and got no bubbles. So, I'm going to show you how to put this together in just a moment. Okay, this is where you're going to need your staple gun, so make sure you get that out. Make sure you have plenty of extra staples so you can finish your bag. So what you're going to do is make a crease in your bag by folding over the first 1/2 inch. Mine might be a little bit larger than that. Yeah, it's okay if it's more than 1/2 inch, just as long as it's even all the way across. So do that to both panels, make your crease, and this is why you're going to need your crease. You're going to take your one end of your strap, and you're going to place it right on it. And you're going to go over from the edge, count over from the edge about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. And you're going to bring the bottom of your strap to the edge of your panel here. Now you're going to take your staple gun, and this is where it's very important to make sure that you're not stapling it all the way through to this back side. You're just stapling it to this crease that you just folded. So when you do this, you want to staple the edges on the two sides and down the center, and you can staple as many times as you like because you're not going to see those staples. So to show you, I'll do one there, one there, and one there. Now see, I'm going to continue making more staples, but first, or doing more staples, but first I want to show you something. Now that you've stapled off your two sides and your center, you can continue to staple, but make sure that you're still not going through this back side here, and also make sure that you don't go any higher up on your strap than where that crease mark is. So make sure you stay under that crease mark stapling. So I'll show you. Now that I know that my crease mark is right about here, I'm not going to staple any higher than that. So what I'm going to do is stay within that area. And the more staples you have, the more sturdier your straps are and more durable your purse is. And make sure you have no loose staples. If you have loose staples, take them out. They're just going to stab you later. So as you can see, I have quite a few staples there, and I didn't go over the top here. Now you're going to set that down, and we're going to do the same thing to the other end of the strap, but to our other panel. Now make sure you fold your crease once again, and make sure you straighten out your strap so there's no kinks in it. And you're going to do the same thing. You're just taking it over about 1/2 inch right here, and oops, except for you're going to have your end facing the end of this one like that. So now you're going to staple it. I'm going to show you, for example, once again, I'm going to staple off these sides here and right in the middle. Now you're going to continue doing that all the way through. Make sure you take out all the loose staples, but make sure you don't go any higher than this ridge right here, and don't go through that side. You're just stapling it to this little flap right here. So continue stapling. Okay. As you can see, once again, I did not go over my flap here, so you don't see any staples on this side, and you don't see none above this ridge. Okay, whoops, sorry about that. Now you're going to take your inside color. You're going to cut 2 10-inch strips. Actually, I would suggest doing at least 3 10-inch strips. Now you're going to take one of these strips, just one of them, and cut it lengthwise in half. Okay. Take one whole strip and take one of your ends here where your flap is, and you're going to fold it over like that and place your tape on it. So if it helps you to start like this, knowing not to go over that crease, just covering your staples like that. You can see I still have my crease here, but you don't see any staples. So now you're just going to fold that over and tape it. So now once again, you see no staples on any of the sides. Now you're going to take one of the half strips and cover that up once again just to give it some extra durability. Now you're going to do the same thing to your other panel. I'll show you one more time in case you didn't see that. I'm going to lay my strip right over the front flap here, so it covers your staples, but it doesn't cover your flap, where your crease is. So as you can see, here is my crease. There's no staples on the outside here at all, and I didn't even take my tape over the flap. So now you're going to just lay it down flat and flatten out your piece of tape. So now you'll see no staples on either side. Take your half a strip and you're going to put this over top of that again. And all this is doing is making sure that it's nice and sturdy and stable. You may not even have to put that many straps. I just like to add the extra durability. Now we'll come back and I'll show you how to finish putting this together. Now this is where you're going to make a sandwich. That's why I like to call it a sandwich, because it's easy to remember. Your back panel, you're going to have your outside design facing outward. You're going to lay down your pocket with your inside color facing up. And you want to make sure you have your edges right down to the very tip. Now you're going to take your other panel and you're going to lay it right on top of that. So you should have inside color, outside color. And as you can see now, you have a strap on both sides. If your straps aren't like that, you did something wrong. Go back and follow the steps once again. Because when you're adding your straps to the inside, you should have it always on your left-hand side. Okay, so now we got the sandwich together. We're going to staple it. So get your staple gun out. And you're just going to staple it. And now make sure you're going through all 3 layers there. So you're just going to staple it down the side. And continuously making sure that your layers are all even. Making sure that all your layers are staying within that stapled area. Now you can go back over some of the places where you think you might need extra staples. This keeps your bag together and it gives it stability. So now you should have one whole side stapled like that. Now you're going to go and do the same thing to your other side. And remember, you want to make sure your 3 layers are layered together and always even. Okay. Now you want to make sure, this is your bottom now, you want to make sure that all your layers are stapled together on the sides, which they are. Now you're going to take your inside color and you're going to cut 2 strips the size of the side of your bag. So if you're not following my instructions as to the size of bag you're making, just make it sure that it's the same size as the size of your bag. Now you're going to take your first strip and you're going to cover up the flat end of the staples, just like that. So now you have all the sticking. You can still see the staples on this side. Well, now what you're going to do is fold this, the whole entire side, not just on top of it, but the whole entire side. You're going to fold it over about a 1/2 inch. Like that. Make sure it's nice and secure. Now you're going to go to this side where your flat end of your staples are. Take your strip of tape and cover that up. Like that. So once again, you should have your flat end of your staples on this side and your sticky, and you're going to fold it over your entire bag, folding it over about a 1/2 inch. Okay, now that you have your two sides done, we're going to do our bottom. Now if you want to add inside pockets to your purse, now is the time to do it, before you staple on your bottom. So I'm just going to cut off the excess tape that was from my sides that I just taped down. And now you're just going to make sure that all 3 layers, once again, are all together while you're going through your bag and stapling it. Now go back over your bottom just to secure it, to make sure that you have your bottom stapled in all 3 layers. Okay, now as you can see, I did more staples on the bottom than I did the sides, and that's just because women like to carry a lot of things in their bag. So you're going to cut 1 strip of tape that is the length of the bottom of your bag, and you're going to do the same thing you did to your sides. You're going to cover up the flat end part of your staples like that. So now you still have the other part of your the part that stabs you, the end of the back of the staples, and your sticky. Now remember, we're going to fold this about a 1/2 inch. You're folding your entire purse and your sticky. And then whatever you have that's excess, if you end up doing more than that, you just fold it over to cover up your ends there. Okay, now you're probably wondering, okay, Susie, now what do I do? Because my bag is inside out, which is fine, completely fine. Now what you're going to do is turn it inside right. And by doing this, you're pushing this side out. You're wanting to pull it around. Now be careful when you do this, so you don't pull your staples out. And also, while you're doing this, make sure you get your pocket right. This is probably the toughest part, other than the handles. Just because it takes a lot of strength in your hands to do this. For guys, it'll be really easy. And remember, you're pushing out your bottom. And I'm just going to make sure that my pocket doesn't get ripped in the process of it. pushing out your ends. So once you push out all your corners, you have yourself a duct tape bag. So you might need to straighten this out a little bit, but as you can see, there's seams along the sides and along the bottom, so it looks like you actually put it through a sewing machine. And if you want to add a flap, you can do that. You just add a flap and make sure you don't interfere with your pocket, which is up front. Or you can add magnets right here, snaps, pretty much whatever you want. And now you can see that you have a strap on one panel here and on the other panel there. This will make it a crossbody bag. Your straps will fit nicely around your chest, and that is it. So don't forget, there's your pocket. And if you wanted any pockets on the inside, you should have done that before you did this, because it's not impossible, it's just a little more difficult. So your bag's probably going to be a little wrinkled. You just straighten it out and hang it, and it will come out all by itself. So there is your duct tape bag, crossbody bag. And I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and thank you guys so much for being patient and waiting such a long time to get this tutorial. I really appreciate all of you guys. You guys are amazing, and I would love to see what your guys' crossbody bags looks like. So if you do a video, please post as a video response, because I love to see the different colors that people come up with. That's it. Thanks again for watching, guys. Bye.